Welcome back to the channel. Today we're looking at one of the heavy hitters of Cold War artillery, the M110 Self-Propelled Howitzer, the 203mm big gun that punched well above its weight class. If you love armor, artillery, or military history, stick around. This one's a fascinating blend of raw firepower, engineering compromise, and battlefield psychology. The M110 was built around a simple idea: mount a very large, powerful howitzer on a mobile chassis so those massive shells could be delivered rapidly, then moved before the enemy could respond. Unlike lighter field guns, the M110's 203mm projectile was meant to break fortifications, demolish hardened positions, and serve as an area denial weapon, something the enemy would remember long after the blast. When you hear 203mm, think big. These were heavy rounds with tremendous explosive effect. Visually, the M110 is unmistakable. It wears its weapon like a crown, a short, stout barrel perched on a tracked chassis with a crew compartment at the back. It's not trying to sneak, it's announcing its presence. That's by design. The howitzer trades stealth for shock. A few rounds from an M110 and an entire defensive sector could be disrupted, bunkers shattered, and morale shaken. In terms of role, the M110 occupied a niche between conventional artillery and the kinds of strategic systems that delivered devastation from extreme ranges. It was tactical, intended to support corps and division-level operations, but its effect was strategic on a localized scale. In practice, that meant counter-battery fire, destruction of reinforced positions, and supporting major offensives where an extra level of destructive power was required. From an operational standpoint, the M110 had both strengths and clear limitations. Its main strength was simple: payload. The 203mm round delivered a lot more blast and fragmentation than smaller calibers. That gave commanders options: destroy hardened targets, lay down massive barrages to suppress enemy movement, or use specialized munitions where applicable. Mobility was another plus compared to towed super heavy guns. You could relocate under armor and maneuver with mechanized units. But the trade-offs were obvious. Big rounds take time to load, the platform had significant recoil, and the system is logistically hungry. Ammunition supply, rate of fire, and the vehicle's size made it less flexible than smaller artillery systems in fast-moving situations. The M110 also saw modernization. Over its service life, it received variants and upgrades aimed at improving mobility, fire control, and survivability. Crews learned how to coordinate these pieces into combined arms plans, using range finding, forward observers, and, later on, more advanced fire control systems to get accurate, timely strikes. The psychological effect of an M110 mission was real. Its shells weren't subtle whispering, they were loud, earth-moving announcements. What about the people behind the gun? Operating an M110 required a trained crew who understood ballistics, communications, and the choreography of moving a heavy weapon under potentially hostile conditions. Safety, coordination with infantry and armor, and careful logistics were paramount. Artillery crews often worked long shifts delivering fire missions and then disappearing before counter-battery fire could zero in on them. In terms of legacy, the M110 stands as a symbol of an era when conventional forces stressed concentrated firepower and the ability to demolish fixed defenses. It influenced later thinking about how to deliver heavy effects on the battlefield and how to balance firepower with mobility. As battlefield doctrine evolved toward precision weapons and networked targeting, the blunt but reliable power of the M110 diminished in relative importance, yet its lessons about logistics, fire planning, and combined arms remain relevant. So why does the M110 still fascinate enthusiasts today? Part of it is aesthetics, the combination of brute force and mechanical simplicity. Part is nostalgia for a different age of armored warfare. And part is respect for a weapon that, when used properly, could change the map for a single operation. It's a reminder that sometimes, sheer explosive capability still plays a crucial role in shaping outcomes on the ground. If you enjoyed this walkthrough of the M110, hit like, subscribe, and ring that bell. More deep dives into iconic weapons and vehicles are coming. Tell me in the comments, would you rather have the mobility of modern rocket artillery, or the raw knockdown punch of a 203mm howitzer? I'll be reading your takes and featuring the best in an upcoming video. Thanks for watching. See you next time.